Hi, welcome to the channel today. It's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm going to be doing a devotional. And my son, who usually does all the videoing, is sick, so I'm going to have to hold the camera myself. Kind of the reason I'm doing the devotional, because I try to do one in the garden, and I can't make this stupid thing focus on anything but me. So anyway, the topic's going to be the sin of making Jesus number one in your life. And at first that sounds like that's a contradiction, that we should have Jesus as number one. A lot of times I've said it in the past, but it'd be like if a man walks up and says he wants to marry my daughter. And I got 4 sons. Let's say I had a daughter and he wanted to marry her. And I ask him, well, do you love her? Yes, I love her. Well, you know, and then he comments, said, well, you know, she's number one in my life. I love her more than I do any of the rest of the women in my life. That would send up red flags. Says, what do you mean the other women in their lives? Well, no, she's my favorite. She's my favorite. I love her. You know, those other women don't really mean anything to me. You know, we may fool around a little bit, but that's it. It's just all fun. That won't work around my household. You know, if I told my wife, and we've joked about it since we heard the guy preach on this once, tell me she's number one, and first thing she'll say, she says, I better be the only one. And see, there's the problem we have, is when we say Jesus is number one in our life, we also have a number 2, and a number 3, and a number 4. And we say, well, no, we believe in Jesus, but one time I went to now only conservative Christians talk like this, but we went to a secular or just a regular bookstore, and I looked at the wall where they had the religious books. You had the Christian section, and then you had the other religion section. And the surprising thing was that a lot of the sermons that I've heard preached when I read the titles to the books, they didn't come from the Christian section, they came from the other religion section. Such as, you know, the power of positive thinking and, you know, just, you know, speak the word, words have power. That all came from the New Age and other religions. It didn't come from this Bible. It came from other religions. So we still say, well, the Bible's number one in my life, but we also look to other things to give us guidance and direction in our lives. And I've seen this happen in church over and over again. And it's kind of interesting because one time I was listening to a Sunday school teacher, he's explaining how when Israel would fall, that first generation would serve God with all their heart. Another generation would rise up and they would make God number one in their lives. And he said they would literally go to the temple and do all the sacraments, do all the things that God had told them to do that morning. And that afternoon they'd turn around and go to the other gods, the other temples, where they had a lot more exotic stuff, and would serve their gods over there for prosperity and things of that nature. And they saw nothing wrong with it. See, because God was number one. They did serve Ashtaroth and Baal and all these other gods, but they were saying, but he's not their top God. And God says, in this Bible says, I'm a jealous God. So during this time we're fixing to go into Easter this weekend, just ask yourself, is Jesus number one in your life, or is he the only one in your life? Anyway, short video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Thanks for watching.